Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in discovering a little bit more of this ancient, amazing language together. Yesterday, we talked about Chinese way of saying how things are weighing on you, as if it's mountain tide, which really originally means luck. Mountain luck is weighing on you. Okay. And today we have 万水千山. So the same mountain image that we use instead of using a triangle to mean mountain, which normally is how children would draw a mountain, right? We use three spikes, three vertical lines eventually got abstracted into to represent mountain peaks, something standing tall. And as a group of them, we just use three to mean multiple. And it's normally mountains comes in multiples, right? It's not just one standing alone. It's a range of mountains. So that's our mountain. And 水, we have this water sign that have this flowy, not straight line, but flowy, which is eventually got rid of, like in Chinese characters, mostly is horizontal, vertical, squarish. But this curvyish was when language was first created. That was more close to a natural depiction of how water is supposed to flow with this curved lines. And then four streams, like side streams coming from it, connected or not connected to the main body of water flowing. So that gives you a visual of how when water flows, there may be blocks in the stream. So it's not a smooth flowing. Water are going to have its own path, going to have a swirls or departure from the main body, turbulence, all that. That's how water normally flow. So as much information can be captured in this 5 simple strokes as our representation of water. And eventually in the contemporary Chinese, we get rid of the 5 stroke is too much. So it becomes like one vertical line and just use a little bit up tilted hook, we call it a hook, to the main body. And then we have this kind of zigzag there to represent it's flowing. It's not a straight line. So we do have a straight line, like 3 vertical lines and have a little bit of curve. And that means a stream, especially. Probably it's kind of a slow, smooth and slow flowing body of water. That's a stream. We use this 3 kind of undisturbed water body. But if we write in this way, it's more generic water. It could be water in all kinds of situations. So we have to represent probably the most how to say unnatural way, in the sense of it got to find its path. It's not a straight line. It's flowy to give you the sense of a flow. Okay, so we get water and a mountain, photogeneric out of the way. Now we come to abstractions. So how to express 10,000 and also how to express 1,000 as a language creator. Like how, if you were the language creator, how are you going to express these abstract concepts? We have one horizontal line as 1, 2, 3, and then we have 4. It's kind of in a block and 4 vertical lines. And then 5 is more complicated, heaven and earth with a cross in the middle. And we haven't talked to all the other digits, like how the origins come from. But here today, we stumbled across this 10,000 and 1,000 concept. So one major difference between the numbering system in China, like when I learned English, a major conversion in my mind is Chinese like to group things in 4s. So we have a 1, like 10,000 is a major unit of count. And then we have 兆, which is 4 and 4, 8 zeros. That's our next level of units. That's a seldom used because there's a lot of zeros. It's probably in the past, we seldom hit that number of zeros, but in today's global digital age, however many zeros, it probably is no longer surprising anybody. So 10K is really not that big deal nowadays, right? We have T, GT, and I don't know, gazillion, I don't know, like a big, super big units of counts. But this language evolved, rooted in agriculture society. So 10K is probably already a big deal back then. And so we use 4 as our number system, especially this concept of 10K is 10,000 is our main unit. So whenever I do this conversion of Chinese, when we say 10万, so 10K, I have to translate it correctly as 100,000 because in English, it's a 3 as a grouping. We have 1,000, million, billion, so 333. In Chinese, it's 4 and 4. 1兆, that's it. We also have 百十千, all the way to 1, right? So between the so from 1 to 10, right? We have number 10 that's coming as this horizontal line and vertical line, and that's our roping. Tie a knot to signify its unit of 10. That's back all the way to the roping technology to keep record of number counting. And from that 10, we have 百千万. So today we have this 10, the 1,000 unit, and also 10,000. 10,000, okay, coming from 10. It's an abstraction. Me as a language user, thousands of years later, try to figure out what the language creator back then, what were they thinking to, and it's a collective they too. It's like somebody come up with this version to express 10,000 abstract idea, unit of measurement, not unit measure, but numbering, like a milestone in the numbering, in counting. And also it's collectively that the remaining of the language users, there may be many options to express 10,000 as any other characters, like one survive and get to be this character that we inherit thousands of years later as the standard of 10,000 expression. So now getting back to the origin, this is how it looks. It looks pretty much like the original, right? Except it's the curve is curving toward the left instead of now it's like curving toward the right, but the main elements are there. My imagination here, because it's really a long jump of times and it's hard to explain what happened in the middle of language evolution. I explain it as this. So horizontal line and vertical line, that joint, that knotting is still our unit of 10. So it's this part. And then we have one curved line, second curved line, simply means it's to the second order and the third order of that 10. So that means we have 10, and then we times 10 again, and times 10 again. I don't know if mathematically back then the language creators thinking about math like that, but 10,000 simply means 10 times 10 times 10. Wait, that's 1,000, right? Okay, I just blew up my theory, but it came from number 10 as a unit, and then we scale up 10 times, scale up again, another 10 times, that comes to 1,000. So I don't know, maybe there should be another curve there to mean it's like 3 times of 10 on top of 10, that make it 10,000. Okay. But this is our inherent 10,000. 1,000 I can explain to you. hopefully, okay, we have this cross here, that's our 10, right? And 1,000 means 10, 100, right? 100, 10 times, it's 1,000. So how come this side view human figure, kind of hunching over that human figure, worth 100? And 10 of that is 1,000. My interpretation is back then, probably slave trade still occur. And so that one person, that one labor body was sold at a value of roughly 100 of something, some sort of currency or value system back then. So that's 100, and 10 times of that is 1,000. That's my imagined way of how that comes into being. But yeah, I failed to explain why one it's spelled out like that. I don't know. Let me try again. Probably this is 1, 1, 1, 1, 4 times of crossing at this knot means 4 zeros on top of each other. I don't know. I'm really trying. So together, 万水千山 is a Chinese inaccurate, but we just throw this 10,000 and 1,000 out there to pair it with water and with mountain. Both are abstract, like a generic water and a mountain. You don't really know exactly geographically where that is in abstraction and of depiction of how volume-wise is like max out to our daily counting system to 10,000, one already. And 1水 means 10,000 body of waters. That's a lot of water. And 1,000 mountains to cross. So the whole visual it creates is this long distance between this two persons. And in between them, you have to cross 10,000 waters and 1,000 mountains. And that's our way to poetically measure the distance with the number of waters and mountains in between. And of course, it's not accurate. We just use 10,000 and 1,000 to mean it's a lot of them. And this is 1982. TV show produced in Hong Kong and released in mainland China. And it was a blockbuster back then because such TV shows, like dramas, was not produced at all before that time. And it was so, it depicts society in ways that Chinese audience back then were not exposed to before. So this was a sensation back then. And you see here, it says 万水千山, same, but the one character is spelled differently. And some scholars said here, this portion depicts the animal scorpion. Scorpions are the type of animal, once they lay eggs, they lay in, I don't know, hundreds or thousands. It's a lot of them. So that high reproductive ability was used to capture its multitudes, like a lot of them, easy to reproduce. And I guess that's another way to try to explain how Chinese envision this big number from back then. And 万水千山, and then we have 总是情. So this is the title of the movie. It talks about this long distance and life events happen between these two lovers. Supposedly, I didn't watch it. So dramas of the whole era of turmoil is going on in that time of change, probably in the 1920s or something, right? Between First and Second World War. And it's China, between ancient China and a new contemporary modern China, globally connected China. So it's a time of change, and how people, like two lovers, they separated, and 万水千山. But 总是情, like no matter how far the distance there is between the two, always there is feelings, like their romance or their love toward each other are always there, regardless of how far away they are. So that's the theme, the slogan, and there's a beautiful song came along with it, and that was again what I grew up on. That people, even if it's sung in Cantonese because it's from production from Hong Kong, it was sung, appreciated, repeated, word of mouth, karaoke all the time. Is this show, 万水千山送世情. Cash into the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.